Okay, ready? One, two, three. Hold on now. Wait a minute, fellas. Wait a minute. I think it goes something like this. Whoa. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Cause every time I turn around, there's something trying to keep me down. Can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Whoa, can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. When I look up, don't you know, burdens knocking at my door. So won't you come and take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Oh, come and take these burdens off of me. Off of me. Somebody come and take these burdens off of me. Off of me. Soon as I get up off the ground, my burdens knock me right back down. Can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Somebody take these burdens off of me, off of me. Somebody take these burdens off of me, off of me. Somebody take these burdens off of me, off of me. Well, off of me, off of me. Oh, off of me, off of me. Well, off of me, off of me. Get them off of me, off of me. Come and break the chain, come and break the chain. Get it off of me, off of me. Get it off of me, off of me. I need somebody, I need somebody, I need somebody, I need somebody to get this burden, to get this burden. Can somebody take these burdens off of me?
Good evening, everyone. Just give me a few minutes. I'm trying to get my folks here. I apologize as usual. I don't know what's going on with my actors, but we will get it together one day soon. Readers, please check your email. Readers, please check your email. Pretty brown eyes, check your email. Perspective, check your email. Good work. Good help is hard to find, guys. I just want to tell you that. All right, just hold on a second, people. In the meantime, let me go ahead on and do this intro again. Readers, please check your email. Readers, please check your email. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm waiting for one more person. One more person. Judge. Okay, let me just put the link in here for the judge. Hold on a second, y'all. All right, Judge. All right. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys to hold on.
Just in my rehearsal room. Hold on. 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 Everybody hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Robert is coming home. He's coming home. Hold on. Everybody hold on. Robert is coming again. He's coming home. Hold on. Everybody hold on. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter how it seems, God's got the final say. It doesn't matter how long it may seem, the end is what matters. But God's got the final say. So hold on, everybody, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, oh, hold on, hold on, for Robert, hold on. The enemies may hate, they can tell all lies. No matter how long, the truth will prevail. They can rise up against all the fans that stand up for him. The end will justify, for God has the final say. Oh, no, 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 yo. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Robert is coming home. He's coming back, so hold on. All fans, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Help is on its way, heaven is down here. Hold on, all fans, hold on. God is here, taking it over. Hold on, everybody, hold on, hold on,
All right, everybody, we're almost there. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. I got all my peeps. Hold on, I just need to do something. Need to adjust something. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for your patience. Just one more minute, and I shall be ready. Just one more minute, people. One more minute. Okay, I think I'm missing one more person. One more person I'm missing. Oh no, I got everybody. All right, without further ado, we have our cast here. We have our cast. All right, we have Mr. Sam Adam as well as Lisa Van Allen. We have Mr. Kowalski.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Mr. Kosowski.
Hello.
All right, we gotta change. Somebody changed their name, and I gotta go back and correct their names. Hold on a second. All right, we have Miss Boyker. Miss
Hello,
Boyker.
everybody. Blessings.
All right, we have our judge. Hey, judge.
Hello. Happy
And
to
without further ado, we have Mr. Jensen. Hey.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. All right, we're all set, guys. We're all set. Let's rock and roll.
Mine too.
When you quit your job, do you recall what time of the year it was at that time?
probably right before the summer.
And when you quit your job, what did you do at that point?
Go back to Chicago.
And when you came to Chicago, had you discussed your moving to Chicago, if you will, with Robert Kelly?
Well, we never really discussed me moving there. I just never left once I came back.
When you came back to Chicago sometime before the summer in 1998, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen and the court where you lived?
I had always had hotel rooms, but I would basically be at the studio with Rob.
When you say the studio, can you tell us the name of the studio that you are referring to?
Chicago tracks.
And where in Chicago tracks would you actually stay?
There were two rooms. One was a lodge, and I think it was on the second floor. And then there was another room that had like some steps, stairs. I think it was called like the Sky View or something, but it didn't have any view. There was no windows at all. There were no windows in at all in there, period. But I just thought that was funny. They called it Sky View and there was no view.
You would either be in a hotel room, is that correct? No verbal response. You have to say
What was question?
you would either have to be in a hotel room or you were at Chicago Tracks. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then, Miss Van Allen, financially, can you at the time ladies and gentlemen, how you were able to live financially while you were in Chicago.
Through Robert.
And Robert would give you money to live, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you describe your relationship for the ladies and gentlemen with Robert Kelly at this time?
I don't understand the question.
What was your relationship like? What would the two of you do together?
I traveled with him, you know. I went to video shoots with him. I traveled on tour with him. We went to the mall, the movies, things like that, shopping.
Now, you said that you traveled with him on tours and video shoots and things. You mentioned to the ladies and gentlemen that you were in the Home Alone video. Is that correct?
Yes.
Were there any other videos that you were also a part of?
Yes. I wish.
And did you say I wish?
Yes.
That's the name of the song. Is that correct?
Yes.
And can you tell the ladies and gentlemen what your role was in the I Wish video?
I was the lady braiding his hair.
When you say his hair, whose hair are you referring to?
Roberts.
And you also indicated that you traveled on strike that you traveled on tour with Robert Kelly. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you recall which tours you actually traveled on?
What was it called? The Get Up on the Room tour.
Get Up on the Room?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you have an opportunity to perform while traveling in
Hey,
this
Miss Blake,
tour?
are you okay?
Huh?
We don't hear you.
Who you don't
Can,
hear?
I hear. I hear.
and can you tell the ladies and gentlemen what role you had in the particular tour?
He would pick me out of the audience at the shows. I would do the bed scene with him at the end of every show.
Now, Miss Van Allen, during the time period that you knew Robert Kelly, did you come to meet a young girl by the name of Roshana Lamphere?
Yes, I did.
And if you recall, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen approximately when you first met her?
Around the end of 98.
1998, is that correct?
Yes.
And where were you when you first met her?
Her Rob's house in the room that looked like a log cabin.
Do you recall that house being on George Street?
Yes, it was behind Enterprise.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen in regards to that first meeting with Roshana Lamphere how it was that you came to be at 1010 West George that day or that evening?
Rob drove his SUV. It was a black Navigator. He drove me and him there.
And when you went to 1010 George at that time, what was your understanding that you were going there for?
To meet a young lady at the time who he told me was 16 years old.
When you got to 1010 George, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen in his honor what happened at that time?
We engaged in sex, all three of us.
I will ask you if you could tell us when you entered the house at 1010 George, do you recall what entrance you went in?
It was a side door or back door, but I didn't go through the front door.
When you went in that door, did you enter that door with Mr. Kelly?
Yes. And then he went up to like the upper level.
Where did you go?
I stayed down in the log cabin room.
Had you ever been to 1010 West George before this late 1998 visit?
Not prior to that, no.
And how did you get downstairs to the log cabin room that you referred to?
One of the side doors or back doors or something.
Did Mr. Kelly take you down to the room?
Yes.
And after Robert Kelly took you down to the log cabin room, is that when he left the room and went upstairs?
Yes.
When Mr. Kelly returned to, or did he eventually return to the room?
Yes.
When he returned to the room, was he alone or was he with someone?
He was with someone.
Who was he with at that time?
Rashonda Landfield. Fair.
And is that the first time that you had an opportunity to meet Rashana Lamphere?
Yes.
And you indicated to the ladies and gentlemen that you had had sexual relations with Rashana Lamphere at that time. Is that correct?
Yes, we did.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen what happened before you and Rashana Lamphere had sexual relations?
I don't understand. I don't understand. Excuse me, Judge. May we have a sidebar with Your Honor?
Sure.
Judge, pursuant to the discovery rule, the state has given us a statement made to the state's attorney that are trying this case by this witness. This witness in that statement says, and I will read the statement. She says approximately 1 year after meeting Rashonda Lamphere.
Sam, hold your voice closer.
After meeting Rashonda Lamphere, Rashonda slipped and talked of a PT Cruiser she wanted when she became 16 years old. Lisa Van Adden stated the statement surprised her because prior to that, she believed Rashonda was already 16 years old. Here she says that it wasn't a year later that she learned that Rashonda was 16. It was at the first meeting with Rashonda. What I am saying is there is an inconsistency here. I ask Your Honor to have Mr. Hellinger, who was present for this statement, be excluded from the courtroom because we would want to call him in to impeach her on this very critical statement.
All right, go ahead. I am sorry.
Our response would be is that she was told that at the time that she was. We would allege that she wasn't, in fact, 16 at the time. And that's exactly what that statement says, is that it was sometime later that she, in fact, found out that she was, in fact, younger when she entered into the sexual encounter with her. And it's exactly what that statement is saying. Mr.
Hellinger.
Yeah.
Not only that, she hasn't said anything to impeach herself on that. And furthermore, this statement that was tendered was a summary. And as counsel knows, they had ample opportunity to depose her and get into any other details that they wished with regards to the summary. Judge, this always arises when a trial lawyer takes a statement. That's why I am not going to call Sam Adam Jr., probably with respect to the other one. But a trial lawyer takes a statement, he becomes a witness to this statement. The only people that took the statement, and both of them are the trial lawyers in this case for the state, they put themselves into this position.
They haven't put themselves into this position yet, all right? Because she might admit to the inconsistencies and there is no need to perfect it, all right? The other thing is, as a matter of trial strategy, Mr. Genson decided not to depose this witness. There was ample ways could you get this. I'm not ruling out that Mr. Hellinger might have to be called, but if he is, I researched it and it doesn't have to happen to your case in chief. And certainly, you are not going to be calling him in the state's case in chief. So I am not going to exclude him. He is an honorable person. He would not make up any testimony. You know that? All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Will you proceed, State?
Thank you, Judge. Miss Van Allen, our last question, I believe, was before or when Robert Kelly and Rashana Lamphere entered into the log cabin room at 1010 West George. Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen what is the first thing that anyone did at that point?
Robert set up his video camera.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen how he set up the camera at that point?
He basically had a stand and he set it up on it and directed it towards where we were, and told us where to sit and basically what to do.
Where did Robert Kelly tell you and Rashana Lamphere to sit?
Near like a hot tub or jacuzzi. We were near that. It was like a kind of like a futon mattress or something, a black one right next to there.
And after he told you where to sit, can you also tell us, excuse me, where the video camera was set up?
In the restroom door. It was like angled from the corner towards the futon bed.
After the video camera was set up by Mr. Kelly, you and Rashana Lamphere were told where to sit. What took place then?
We had sex.
And when you say we, who are you referring to?
Rashonda Lamphere, myself, and Robert.
Now, were there times where just you and Rashonda were in the picture?
Yes.
And were there times when you, Rashonda Lamphere, and Robert Kelly were in the picture?
Yes.
Were there times where you were not in the picture?
No.
You indicated that the camera was set up on a stand. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recall if the camera was ever taken off the stand by Mr. Kelly?
I don't believe so.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen if this was the only time that you were videotaped during a sexual encounter with Rashana Lamphere?
No.
And approximately how many other times were you videotaped in a sexual encounter with Rashana Lamphere and Robert Kelly?
One other time, but there was another situation where we had intercourse.
Now, if you would, can you describe the circumstances of that other situation?
We went in the front door at that time, and Rashonda was already in the house.
This was at 1010 West George?
Yes.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen in his honor approximately what time of the year this was? How much time had passed? Excuse me, I will strike that question.
Probably about a year.
And then you went in the front door of 1010 West George, you stated.
Yes.
When you went into the front door, was there anyone present in the house at that time?
Not when we first walked in, but he called her downstairs.
And when you say he called her downstairs, who are you referring to?
Robert.
And what did Robert say at that time?
He called her Show. He asked Show, "Come here, Show."
And where had you been that evening with Robert Kelly?
I am not exactly sure what it was called, but something like afterwards, things where he received some award here in Chicago.
And did you know that you were going to 1010 George Street later that evening?
Not until we were on our way.
when got to 1010 George, was it in fact Roshana Lamphere that came down the stairs?
Yes.
And had you seen Roshana Lamphere during the year period of time?
What is the question again?
When you first met Roshana Lamphere back in late 1998, had you seen her between the first encounter with her and the second encounter, which you say is a year later?
Yes, sometimes she would come to the studio with her parents, and she had gone to the movies with us before, me, him, and his entourage.
Approximately how many times would you say you had seen her during that year?
Not many, probably about 5.
Now, when you say when when she came down the stairs at 1010 George Street, again, if you could tell the ladies and gentlemen where you, Robert Kelly, and Roshana Lamphere went at that time.
To the where his basketball court was.
And do you recall where at the house at 1010 West George the basketball court was located?
The main level towards the back. I am not really sure how to get there, but just towards the back. I know it was a restroom near there also.
When you went to the basketball court area, was it who went with you at that point?
Robert and Rashonda went with me.
And what happened when you got to the basketball court?
He set up his camera and we took off our clothes and we all had sex again.
Now, again, I ask if you could, tell the ladies and gentlemen how Robert Kelly set up the camera in the basketball court. Judge, if I could have a minute. Brief
He set
pause.
it up on the stand. He set it up on the stand and pointed it towards the mattress.
There was a mattress in the basketball court.
Like the full-time mattress, the same one.
When he pointed it towards the mattress, did he tell you?
I can hear the state's attorney.
Court?
Yes. Please keep your voices up, both of you.
When Robert pointed towards the mattress, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen what you did at that time?
We had sex and I started crying.
When you say we, Lisa, who are you referring to?
Me, Rhonda, and Rashana.
And did anything else happen during that sexual encounter?
I started crying
And can you tell the ladies and gentlemen why you started crying?
because I didn't want to do it. I am sorry. I didn't want to do it.
But I can't hear you. But I can't hear.
Would you repeat the answer, please?
Lisa, if you could repeat the answer.
I didn't want to do it.
After you started crying and got upset,
Yes.
did Robert do anything at that time?
He got upset and said that he couldn't watch that. He couldn't do anything with that with me crying. He stopped everything and put the camera up and we left.
And you left 1010 George at that point, is that correct?
Yes.
You had another, or did you, in fact, have an additional sexual encounter with Roshana Lamphere?
We did have another encounter.
And you can tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury when that was?
It was in 2000 at the women's treat. video shoot in the trailer.
Threat.
Threat, I'm sorry.
In the trailer?
Yes,
Do you recall where you were at that time?
in Chicago.
And do you recall about what time of the year it was in 2000?
Not really sure about the time of year. I do know it was in 2000.
And were you on that set?
Yes.
While you were on the set, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen how it was that you saw Rashana at that time?
She was in the trailer.
And you were also in the trailer at that time?
I was everywhere. I was around the video set and everything. But when we went back to the trailer, I went with him.
When you went back to the trailer, is that the first time that day that you saw Rashana Lamphere?
Yes.
When you got back to the trailer, were you with Robert Kelly at that time?
Yes.
And if you could, tell the ladies and gentlemen what happened at that time.
Me, Robert, and Rashana had sex.
And was there anything that was done before you had sexual relations with Robert Kelly and Rashana Lamphere?
No, but after some people came knocking at the door and he had Rashonda run into the bathroom naked.
Did Robert Kelly videotape that sexual encounter between the three of you?
Yes.
If I could have one moment, Your Honor. Now, Lisa, you spoke about the videotapes and videotapes that were made. Did you ever have an additional, or did you have any other sexual encounters with any other women while you were living with Robert Kelly?
Yes.
Objection.
Sustained.
You also spoke about the videotapes that you just referred to. Do you know where those videotapes were kept?
In a duffel bag.
And how do you know that?
Because he carried it everywhere with him.
When you say he, who are you referring to?
Robert.
When you say everywhere, can you tell us what you are referring to?
If he was in the studio, it was in the studio with him. If he went to a hoop, it went to hoop with him. If he was at a video shoot, it was at the video shoot. Just wherever he was at, the bag would follow him.
Now, Lisa, did there come a time that you eventually left Chicago?
Yes.
And you left Robert Kelly, is that correct?
Yes.
And you can tell the ladies and gentlemen approximately when that was?
2001, the beginning.
And where did you return to?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Periodically, through, though, had contact with Robert Kelly, did you not?
Yes.
And you would periodically, over time, come and visit Mr. Kelly, is that correct?
Yes, I would.
And during those visits with Mr. Kelly, you would spend approximately how much time up here in Chicago?
Not long, probably few days, a week maybe.
Now, did there come a time that you also met Mr. Kelly in Georgia also?
Yes.
And were there other times that you met Mr. Kelly when he came to Georgia or to your hometown for various reasons?
Yes.
Approximately 2001, approximately July of 2001, did Mr. Kelly, in fact, come to Georgia and stay at the Swisstel?
Yes.
I believe Bucktown, Georgia. Is that correct?
Buckhead.
Buckhead, excuse me. How long a period of time, if you recall, was Mr. Kelly in Buckhead, Georgia at that time?
The weekend, so maybe 3 days.
And did you, in fact, visit Mr. Kelly during the weekend that he was there?
Yes.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen what period of time over the weekend that you spent with Robert Kelly?
The whole weekend.
Was there anyone else that you saw or that you had met during that time, during that weekend that you were here, excuse me, that he was there in Buckhead, Georgia?
Anyone I had met, I don't understand the question.
Was there anyone else, strike that, was he here for business? Was Mr. Kelly here for business?
I think so.
And the weekend that you had were here,
I am sorry. I'm getting mixed up. What do you mean by here?
excuse me, the weekend that Mr. Kelly was here, did you spend time with him at the Swiss Tel in Buckhead, Georgia?
Yes, I did.
And during that time, Lisa, did anything happen while you were at the Swiss Tel with Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Could you tell the ladies and gentlemen in his honor what happened at that time?
I spent time with Robert. We went shopping, we had sex, and before I ended up leaving him, I ended up taking a Rolex watch from him.
Now, Lisa, in regards to the case before his honor, did you ever contact the police after you had learned that Mr. Kelly had been charged with the offense of child pornography?
No.
Why did you come forward now?
Objection to that, Judge.
Objection. Objection, Judge.
Overruled. I will allow you wide latitude on cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's the right thing to do.
When you came forward, Lisa, you called the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, Lisa, when you came forward, my partner and I spoke to you about any criminal liability that could certainly stem from your sexual encounter with Rashana Lamphere and Robert Kelly. Is that correct?
Yes.
And because of that, and for those reasons, the state has given you immunity for prosecution for anything you say here. Is that correct?
Yes.
And also, you have a separate immunity agreement with the U.S. Attorney, again, for your testimony or anything that may stem from your testimony here today. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in exchange for the immunity from the state and in exchange for the immunity from the U.S. Attorney's Office, you in fact have promised to give these ladies and gentlemen and the court your truthful testimony regarding the incidents that you have just testified to. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Sure.
Miss Van Allen, I am going to show you what we previously marked and also shown to defense counsel. I am going to show you what I have previously marked as People's Exhibit number 75 for identification. Ask you if you recognize what is depicted in this photograph and what is it?
Rashana Lamphere.
I am going to show you what we previously marked as People's Exhibit number 52 for identification and ask you if you recognize this photograph and what you recognize that to be.
Me and Robert Kelly and Lena at the studio.
When you say at the studio, are you referring to Track Studio?
Yes.
Do you recall approximately how old you were or when year this was taken?
I was 18 or 19. It was in 99.
Show you what we have previously marked as People's Exhibit number 26 for identification. Ask you if you recognize that, and if you do recognize it, what is it?
It's Robert's old house.
Is that the house you're referring to at 1010 West George Street?
Yes.
And you told us of the at least 2 times you have been there. Were there other times that you had been to 1010 West George?
Yes.
Approximately how many times would you say?
Twice. Once was when he was getting ready for the party. He had a party, a white party.
Show you what we have marked as People's Exhibit number 56 for identification, and ask you if you recognize that and what you recognize that to be.
The room where we had sex, the log cabin room.
And again, is this the same room that you have testified to that is located at 1010 West George?
Yes.
Show you lastly what we marked as People's 55 for identification. Ask if you recognize that and what you recognize that to be.
Log cabin room. Yes, I recognize that.
Lastly, I am going to show you what we have marked as People's Exhibit number 79 for identification. Ask if you recognize that photograph and what you recognize that to be.
Me and Robert at the women's threat video shoot.
Is that the same video shoot you referred to where you had a sexual encounter with Roshana?
Yes.
Robert Kelly in the trailer.
Yes. She was in the bathroom at that time naked.
And this also was approximately the year 2000, as you testified to. Is that correct?
Yes.
The two pictures with yourself and Mr. Kelly, People's Exhibit number 79 and People's Exhibit number 52, are they in the same or substantially the same condition as they were back in 1999 and 2000, as you testified to?
Yes.
People's Exhibit number 75, the photograph that you have identified of Roshana Lamphere, does that appear to depict Miss Lamphere as when you knew her?
Yes.
The photograph that you see there in People's Exhibit number 75, do you have an approximate year during the period of the time that you knew her that you could say that that photograph is taken?
It looks like around the same time we had our sexual encounter in 1998.
The People's Exhibit number 26, 55, and 56. The photographs of 1010 West George, as well as two of the log cabin that you have identified, do they appear to be in the same or substantially the same condition and depict the home as well as the log cabin room as you saw it back in 1998 and 99?
Yes.
Now, Lisa, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen in his honor if you had an opportunity to view the videotape that is the subject of the case here before his honor?
Yes.
And was that in fact People's Exhibit number 1 for identification that you in fact viewed in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office?
Yes.
And was that just the middle of the last week, I believe, or on Wednesday last week? Is that correct?
Yes.
And had you seen that videotape before?
No.
When you saw the videotape back on Wednesday of last week, Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen how many individuals you saw in that videotape?
2.
And was that a male and a female?
Yes.
Do you have an opinion after viewing that videotape as to the identity of the female in that videotape?
Yes. She looked identical to Rashana Landfair. Her, she, everything. Exactly how I remembered her. Her body, her face, her hair.
And when you say everything, is there anything in particular that stood out to you in regards to your identification of Rashana Landfair?
Her breasts, because, back then I felt like they were so much bigger than mine.
And did you have an opinion after viewing the videotape in regards to the identification or the identity, if you will, of the male on that videotape?
That it was Robert.
And by Robert, who are you referring to?
Robert Kelly.
And was there anything about the male that you identified as Robert Kelly that helped you identify him?
Everything from his face to his bald head, his hands, his genitals, his back, everything. Mm.
Now, Lisa, the state, in fact, has flown you as well as your fiance up here. Is that correct?
Yes.
We have taken care of your expenses.
Yes.
Sometime long time ago in 1998, when you were about 19 years old, you were actually in a fight with a young woman. Is that correct?
Yes.
And because of your being in that fight, you were in fact charged with a battery. Is that also correct?
Yes.
And you were in jail for about a month for that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Also, back in 2006, approximately, you were dating an individual and returned home and found him with another woman. Is that correct?
Yes.
And at that time, you had called the police and you spent about 2 days in jail for domestic violence charge. Is that correct?
Yes.
Judge, if I could have just a moment. Lisa, I failed to ask you in regards to the video if we could go back to People's Exhibit number 1 for identification. When you viewed the videotape last Wednesday, did you have an opinion in regards to the young girl that you identified as Rashana Landfair, approximately when this video was made?
It looks like it was made around 98, around the same time that we shot our video. They both looked exactly the same way.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination, Mr. Adam.
Judge, we have a motion at sidebar, if we may.
Sure.
Mr. Adam just stepped. She's coming back.
Motion at sidebar, if we may.
Sure. Mr. Adam.
I'm sorry. I think I lost sound. I can't hear you guys.
We can hear you.
Okay. I hear you now.
Okay.
Judge, we have a motion at the sidebar, if we may.
Sure. Mr. Adam?
Yes, Judge. Thank you. Judge, this witness has related other crime evidence. Sex with Rashonda Landfair at the time she was underage on various occasions. Now portrayed in People's Exhibit number 1 and other matters. We would ask Your Honor at this time to strike that testimony and instruct the jury to disregard it.
Thank you. State.
Judge, we have given Miss Van Allen immunity for that. as well as
Was that immunity ordered?
it was in the order.
That order was tendered to the defense.
Of course it was.
Okay.
As well as the immunity order from the United States Attorney.
Mr. Adam, anything else?
No.
The other thing is, I keep coming back, and the defense has brilliant attorneys. You are probably top in the country. You had a right to dispose her and find out everything. And again, that was trial strategy. So there is nothing shocking here.
You are denying the motion?
Yes.
Will you instruct the jury to this other crimes evidence? It should be only considered for the things other crimes evidence is considered are not part of the charge here against the defendant.
I will do that at the end. Do you have a proposed instruction? Otherwise, I will do it when I instruct the jury.
I think it is something proper to read it at the time that the evidence comes in.
Okay. Does anybody have a copy of that?
It's in the IPI, standard instruction.
This is another one?
I don't have it in my hands.
All right. I will do it right now. I can't do it unless you move, and my book is back there.
Are you going to take a recess now at this point? This is another matter I'm going on to. I would like to discuss my co-counsel before I begin cross-examination. Sorry.
We can do that. I will break right now. Then I will get the instructions.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a short recess right now. Everybody back at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
All rise for the jury. Whereupon a short recess was held at 12:48 p.m. and the proceeding continue as followed. Reported by Marlene Keir, official court reporter. All right, good people. That is it for this. We will continue mañana for our cross-examination. I'm excited for the cross-examination, guys.
Me too.
Woo! Because Mr. Sam Adams Sr. is going to cross.
But you know what?
Boy.
Do I get a chance to cry anytime in this? Did she cry?
I'm kind of confused though.
But she lied, right? She lied twice.
Yeah, because she was saying that her age, it just didn't add up. She said between
No, not then.
Oh,
She
okay.
said she never seen the videotape.
Mm-hmm.
But
So how
she's
you
the one
gonna
who
say-
stole the videotape and saw who was on the videotape and gave
right.
her the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So she lied there, and then she didn't remember what time of year it was.
And
How
then
do
she
you not
said
know
that-
whether it's summer, winter, or fall?
Right. And then she said it was only 2 times at that 1810 or 1010, whatever the address was. I'm like, honey, you talk like you were there more than 2 times. But something struck out to me on page 77. So the U.S., the feds gave her immunity back then, too. So they were aware of this tape.
Yeah.
Wow. And then they're going to wait all these years to come and charge him for the same tape again.
I have a question though,
Yeah,
because only 2 people were in the video. Didn't she say the video that she stole, she was in it?
She sure did.
She
Okay.
said that's why she stole the video, is because she
Exactly.
didn't want that
Yeah.
video of her
So
getting
would
out.
that be Yul Brown's editing, or would that be another video?
But remember, the other guys broke it down into 4 tapes. We're gonna read
Okay,
about that.
so like, okay.
But okay, interesting, y'all. I don't want to miss what's happening on the other side because that dude is on his live.
Oh,
What time?
okay.
You know what dude I'm talking about?
All right.
Got them to lie. Let me stop.
Bye, everybody.
All
Good
right,
night.
bye,
Blessings.
everybody. Thank you, everybody,
Bye.
for coming
Bye-bye.
together. We'll get it together tomorrow. I promise. I promise.
We'll
Sure
see.
you will.
All right.
We'll see.
Bye.
Bye.